We've done it,
Feels
guys.
good.
We've fucking done it.
This is it.
This is it.
This is it.
We're finally gonna do all the things we always wanted.
Yeah. Money.
Money.
I'm talking money, and I'm not talking like little pennies. I'm talking big.
Guys, we
This
can
is a-
quit our jobs.
This is a big payoff. This is the payoff we've been waiting for.
We've done the hard
been
work
waiting
in
for-
our life. This is it
Now,
right
yeah,
here.
let's
Easy
just
sailing
finish
from
this,
here,
and we'll be
boys.
like,
Pass us that.
Bill Gates, Steve Jobs, Kiss.
We're gonna be just like we're gonna be as rich as Gene Simmons.
Gene Simmons.
Do you think
Gene Simmons.
in 1974 when they released their debut album that they
Did they know?
Did we know?
No, surely. How could you know?
But I reckon a little bit of them knew.
There's
Just
gotta
deep
be.
in their hearts. The same way right now.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, now we know we're gonna be loaded. I think in their hearts they knew.
They knew. They had it planned. I'd say they'd have it planned. I mean,
It's interesting that first album.
yeah, no, it's an interesting project because did you know in 1970? What do you? I'm hazy on the year. I'm not gonna lie.
1974.
1974. Right. They were signed based entirely, believe it or not, on the music. The makeup was something that came. You know, the guy from Casablanca Records, which is a weird fucking thing because Casablanca Records are the one they did like Funkadelics Records. They were like a Motown record label, and they heard Kiss's music, and they were like, "All right, we're gonna sign. We're gonna sign Kiss based entirely on the music." Like they had no idea about the makeup, which is interesting because I'm probably the only person who has this opinion that Kiss would not be a band if it wasn't for the makeup. I think that's a given.
But I think some people would take real issue with that.
What do you mean, like?
Well, the band members, for starters.
I don't know, man.
No, because I've heard them say in multiple interviews, you know, how the makeup just came afterwards. It's not like it's about the makeup. The makeup, we just wanted to look good. We just wanted to stand out.
Constantly, it's like, oh, we're not musicians. We're entertainers.
Okay.
Yeah.
But they definitely wanted to project this rock and roll image. I mean, straight away from the album cover, like you're expecting something, and as soon the first track.
However, this is the problem Kiss have had since the fucking get-go.
Okay.
It's the fucking image problem because they present themselves as being this like essentially a shock rock band.
Yeah.
But they're not willing to write music that has the context of a lot of shock rock has the content of a lot of shock rock. Like Alice Cooper writes about like, you know, basically being a villain. Or like, you know,
evil thing.
Yeah, Lordy write about being monsters. Kiss refuse to identify their image with the music they should make. Instead, they kind of want to be more like the Beatles.
Yeah.
Well, they want massive.
That's exactly what I thought. Yeah, they want each member to have their own little personality. It's very like kid comic book.
It's like they saw the Beatles' business model and went, "We're going to take this, but we're going to literally fucking put it on steroids."
Yeah.
I saw an interview with Paul Stanley, and he was saying that the inspiration did come from the idea that you saw a member of the Beatles, and when you saw them all together, you knew that they were part of a band.
Yeah. Like a gang.
They are.
But everyone, and then it's great for marketing. Then everyone can have your favorite. You can be like, I'm into Gene. No, I'm into Paul. I got the Paul action.
They're the one band that I think is made by a fucking committee. I'd happily say that. They're made by every decision. I think it's like, well, how are we gonna hit each other's quarters? It's all about like, you know, because the makeup doesn't really, I don't think, stem from any kind of artistic.
It comes across as random.
It's just random. Yeah.
I heard
fucking
Ace Frehley say like, when we saw Alice Cooper, but like we thought, what if they were like all the band members?
So fucking stupid. Like a collective IQ of like 25.
But right, so this album, I think the first album is an interesting point to start with when talking about this whole idea of the shock rock thing, because when I first listened to it, I thought, well, they're just victim of the times, you know. I want them to be a metal band. That's my whole thing about Kiss. They look just like a metal band.
Why aren't they a metal band? On face value, let's say you were like in 1975 and you're buying the album, you would assume like, oh, this is going to be fucking heavy.
And at first I thought, well, you know, we're all born in the 90s. It's easy for us to look back and say, well, that just sounds lame and dated.
Yeah, absolutely.
But this is the same era as, you know, we've had Zeppelin, we've had Deep Purple, we've had Sabbath. And that's where I start to be a bit critical. So,
but they do it themselves though as well. I mean, I saw an interview with Gene Simmons on some talk show, and he described himself as evil incarnate.
That's just.
And this is
That's just
1974.
bravado, though, isn't it?
Yeah,
Oh,
I
wait,
saw
no,
that one.
I know what you're on about. Like, he's fucking, it's like some old woman's interviewing him.
Yeah, and then,
Yeah,
and
I've
then,
seen
then,
that. Yeah, and they're just ripping the fucking piss out of him. Yeah,
Absolutely.
I've seen that. No, again, they're presenting this image, again, they're like demonic in a way. They're sort of otherworldly, like gods was the way
Is that
they
the one on the
heal it.
Mike Douglas show?
Yes.
And he's got his big bat.
Yeah,
Yes.
like fucking
and
back
then
head.
they bring that couple who have done the longest kiss
Yeah.
world
Yeah, that
record.
looks weird.
It's fucking
and,
depressing.
Check it out.
But again, it's like odds. They want to be this like evil incarnate band, but they want mass appeal at the same time. So they write these songs which are almost like. I mean, there's some songs on this album which are like
yeah.
even like the Monkees at their most teeny poppy.
But what I'm
wouldn't
trying to
have
get
made.
is that you see this album cover and you're thinking what does this band sound like? And then you got the first song, right? Strutter, and it does not match whatsoever. no.
Off, innit? It's just fucking.
I don't mind Strutter's song. I think it's probably
Strutter's fine, yeah.
yeah. I think it's.
I'm not gonna go with it. I actually like Strutter.
I think it's a confident opening to an album.
I think it's a good opener. I think that's
It's
about it.
high energy at the start.
Also, it's mercifully quite short. It doesn't like hang
Yeah.
around longer than it has to. It's just literally like in and out. That's it. Like what you see is what you get.
Yeah, I think everyone sounds good. I think Paul Stanley particularly. I think like
Paul Stanley can sing. I don't
Paul
want
can
anyone
sing.
to say otherwise.
Yeah, Paul
You know what it
Stanley's
makes me think of? It makes me think of Caught in a Dream, of the first track by Alice Cooper on Love It to Death.
Yeah.
It's this sort of. They're definitely not metal. I think we're allowed to call Strutter proto metal. Is that allowed? Will you give me that? Will you give?
Yeah,
Kiss
but then
that?
again, like it's meant to be like proto metal. Have you heard the production? The production is
production is
so
poor, yeah.
limp.
Yes.
Like it's just so
To me,
underwhelming.
it's to do with it, one of the main things. I'm gonna keep saying this if we talk about this album is its guitar tone.
It's horrible.
And,
yeah.
and
Weak.
the worst part is that we haven't got to them yet, but some tracks of this album do have heavy distorted guitars on them. And
yeah.
that almost to me makes it worse because they could always have that guitar tone.
Yeah.
Strutter would just sound so much better if it was.
Yeah, it was more in
Raw,
your
it
face.
was
raw,
raspy.
Yeah. I think the lyrical content as well is something that always has to be addressed. Every single fucking song, this one included. I think this kind of sets the tempo for what the lyrics are going to be about, which is just every single one is like, there's this girl and she knows what she's like,
Yeah.
and she knows she's this, and she knows she's that, but she'll just, fuck you over in the end.
I fully agree with you, but Strutter is one of the better ones in that
in that regard,
sense.
yeah.
And absolutely,
That's a good
it's
point,
just
yeah.
sort of like,
it only goes downhill from here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I mean, it's not. It's kind of like it's a very loserish perception of women. It's a very kind of misunderstood perception of what women like, or like what. It's
Just the song
luring in a
title
way.
itself is enough.
Strutter, yeah.
Imagine if I said that to you once. So, dude, I saw this girl the other day. She was a strutter.
Yeah.
Like, dude, you see
She
that
knows.
strutter?
She knows what she's got.
Yeah.
She isn't giving you any.
Yeah.
It's just fucking pathetic. Like.
Um,
But that's what they think people like, because when you look at like the live shows and stuff like that, everything that Paul Stanley says is like, "There's this girl, and she knows she's a bitch." And so like we all have that feeling when we see that girl walking by, and it's
I think
it's again
he
it's
sees-
trying to it's kind of cynical in a way because it's kind of assuming that a lot of people think the same way.
maybe
It's
he
like
sees
guys
a
on
lot of
building
himself in
sites.
there. Maybe he wants to be that.
I think that's
kind of-
Gene Simmons though that's steering that. I think he encourages that.
Maybe, yeah. But look,
It's like men like women.
we like
It's
to
like
think
songs
that it's
about women.
we like to think that it's just Gene who's got this very cynical kind of I'm just here to make money view of the world. But I think Paul Stanley is just a
He goes
facade
along with
away
it.
from that. He
Yeah,
has
he
his
must-
front, unlike Gene
He has the
Simmons.
confidence to pull it off a bit more. I
Yes,
think
that's true. Yeah.
Definitely got more integrity.
Um,
Of the two.
Can I just point out that I think the guitar solo is perfectly passable in it. I think it's a pretty good guitar
That's the
solo.
thing.
Yeah.
Like the guitar
Yeah.
solo on a lot of these is like just fine.
Yeah.
They're fine.
I think it's a proper.
They're fine.
Not metal, but it's a classic rock
Yeah,
guitar
yeah,
solo.
yeah.
I think it sounds fine.
I think in this one they definitely set things off with showcasing the better elements of the
I can
of
agree
the
with
band.
that. Yeah.
Gene Simmons barely does a fucking thing. Peter Criss does not try to fucking do anything that he knows he's not capable of doing, which is later on in the album. He
Yeah. Are you talking about the album or just this song?
just this song. This song showcases the album. This song showcases what they know that highlights the things that they can do best.
Yes.
Like Ace Frehley does a perfectly good solo. Paul Stanley is a very technically is a very good singer. Whether like his tone isn't to your likings, like
Yeah, I think it
different,
shows
I think.
the good ends of Paul Stanley, but also the bad. I don't like the baby.
that lyric's just fucking like, especially
Yeah.
like rape, isn't it? Surely it's just like, I should take you home and say
Yeah.
maybe, baby.
Yeah, it's the first you know, a rapey line in a very rapey album.
It's very fucking
Absolutely,
rapey
absolutely.
album. Like, I don't know if that's the first rapey line. I think maybe prior in the song there might be something else.
Well, I
I'm not
know
sure.
a thing or two
That's
about
about
that.
It's like Stalker, isn't it? It's like you fucking Stalker. Like, there's definitely something kind of voyeuristic.
Absolutely.
This album.
This
There's
whole
a lot
album.
looking through like bushes of women.
Yeah.
And be like, she knows she's fucking beautiful, but you know she doesn't
Well,
know what she's worth.
I get the impression that
It's a man's
there's,
album.
there's a lot of talk about sort of women and sex and stuff, but they don't seem very happy about any of it.
They
true,
seem
yeah.
very underwhelmed. They seem
Yeah,
very
they-
frustrated.
It's a chore.
The
almost.
sexual politics of this album is very like it's all like you said, rapey. It's lonely.
Yeah, very rapey.
Just like I mean, the next track, "Nothing to Lose." I mean, I
Well, that song's about anal.
yeah,
I'm not
I read
joking.
about
Like
that.
you can like you make jokes about it, being like, oh, it would
No.
be funny if that song's about anal. But it actually is about
Absolutely
anal.
Pathetic.
It's
I think
pathetic.
the lyrics about that.
It's Gene Simmons.
The worst part, I
Pretty
think,
sure.
is that he felt it necessary to tell everyone. Like we couldn't figure out the deep subtext of this song.
Like, I'll let you in on a little secret.
But then for the
about
secret,
butt
for the
sex.
big secret to be, it's about make sure no one's listening. It's
Butt
about
sex.
butt sex. It's like I just think it's so. It would be insulting to teenagers
Again,
to
no,
call it
that's
pubescent.
that's the mentality. The mentality is like, you know, like they're all thinking it. They're all thinking it, you
Yeah.
know, and I'm gonna
Yeah.
fucking say it. Where, you know, it's
but it doesn't match with the image though. Like again, like
butt sex. Like Alice Cooper. Alice Cooper would never write a song about fucking butt sex.
I'm not-
Not in a fucking million years would he write a song about butt sex.
I'm not even talking about just the anal stuff, but the way they go about it, like he's literally begging for it,
Yeah.
as if being like, "Hey,
You got nothing to lose,
like,
honey.
Yeah.
it's not a sexy
Well, your
thing.
anal,
it's
your
not
anal
something that-
virginity is quite, I don't know, it's a bit of an undertaking.
Yeah.
To lose your fucking anal virginity.
It's not something that she's into,
Simmons.
which again goes.
No,
to
that's
sexual
made
politics.
clear.
She's not into it. I mean, one of the lines is she didn't want to do it, but she did anyway.
Anyway.
I'm not an expert on anal sex, but I think if you ask a woman about anal sex, I'm assuming she says no the first time, then it's been, if you're pressing the issue, then I think
Well, you got to talk to Gene.
you got to talk to
about-
Gene.
'cause
Like,
Gene-
no, they'll come around. They'll come around.
It gets even sadder though, because he's saying like, "Oh, now she has a kid," and now it's just sort of like, "Well,
Oh shit, yeah. It's,
you kind of got
I'm
to
trying to round the back door. What the fuck is that? That's not even like subtext.
Yeah.
It's just obvious.
How do we feel about?"
Fucked her up her asshole. That's basically what he's saying. You might as well not use like the fucking like backdoor metaphor.
I
and just
honestly think the song would
shove
be
my cock up her
funnier,
ass.
smarter, and better if it was literally
I would
just a
fucking
song.
love that
We'd be like,
song.
I fucked her in the butthole.
She
But
said
it's not gay.
Especially with the way the song is
so
sonically.
that leads on to the other issue, which is butt sex is the fucking gayest thing in the world. I don't care if it's with a woman. Woman's got perfectly good fucking hole as it is. You know, and he's like, no, let's do it in the butthole tonight. It'll be better.
Dude,
It's so fucking depressing.
again, I think Gene would have something to say about that.
What, chew your asshole out? That's what the song should have been called.
Also, bringing it
Butt
back to
sex.
music, 'cause
You
it's
might
quite
as well
easy.
have just called it butt. Sorry, I want to go back. You might as well
Okay,
have just called it
fine.
fucking butt sex.
Yes,
There's
but-
no other.
The lyrics aside, I think this song, when I found myself,
no,
when I was
I've got-
listening to it musically, I found myself thinking, why is glam considered a
It's T-Rex.
precursor to metal? And I realized it is just the image. Because you had
Yeah,
people like
absolutely.
Slade and Alice and people like that, you know, you can see why the image there would turn into metal. Because this song's, like, especially with the piano, like the sort of...
Oh.
It's T-Rex.
It sounds like
This
T-Rex.
is
It sounds
fucking
like
T-Rex.
T-Rex.
freaking Status Quo.
Yeah.
Yeah. Status Quo is a good show, actually.
Yeah.
It's just fucking.
When I
bouncy.
first heard this album, I thought they got inspiration from like Status Quo or something like that.
Yeah.
Which is around the same time.
I'm pretty sure for 1974, none of us were alive then, but I think a chorus that goes like,
Good,
nothing to lose. I don't believe that was cool, and I
No,
think
I don't think
everyone
it
at the
was.
time thought
I don't think it
that's
was because
dated.
the thing is that the bands that they really liked were bands like The Move and like the New York Dolls. I mean, the New York Dolls look like fucking like Cannibal Corpse compared to like this fucking album. It's like there's like that. But to take that sound on with them, to adopt it at that time when that movement's
The
very
sound
much,
is
very
10
much
years
done.
too late. The sound's 10
years,
years.
yeah,
too-
that's about
too
It is
late.
like
Yeah.
Sabbath have been like you listen to something like Fairy Wear Boots or like, you know, Sabbath Bloody Sabbath. Like, it's fucking heavy shit.
Yeah.
You know what?
For the
I'll
time.
accept it if it was sort of like tongue in cheek, like we were saying, like they actually like, you know, bum sex and all that stuff. But
But do you think maybe
But it's
if
not.
No,
asked
it'd be
about,
fucking hilarious. Do
you think maybe if asked about it, they'd be like, they'd do a Tommy Wiseau, they'd be like, oh, it is. It is parody. It's ironic.
No, of course they wouldn't. No, because what it is for them the whole thing is like, well, if you can't deal with it, this is rock and roll. This is what rock and roll is. Rock and roll, you write songs about butt sex and.
But in 2018, that's well known.
That's it.
I think they feel like, back then that was like such a hush hush thing. I think they think. I
think that I literally think that their defense for all of this would probably be like, was rock and roll. You can't take it. We don't write about these things. We write about the everyone, the everyman.
But our issue is not that we can't take it. Our issue is that it's such a tame subject anyway.
Yeah.
But is that us looking back at it?
I'll tell you what, though, that's not a very Beatles business model. Butt sex.
But,
If they're adopting that business model. But that's not a compliment. That's
the
just
Beatles did, shock people with things that they did. Certain comments that John Lennon made, especially.
Yeah.
They were bigger than Jesus, stuff like that.
Yeah, they had substance. Yes, they were like singing about butt sex.
In the same way that they wrote "Lucy in the Sky with Diamonds," you saying this is the song about anal.
Yeah.
They thought they were writing.
I think overall the Beatles are a bit harder to compare with Kiss than Kiss would like.
They like to draw those comparisons, but those comparisons are unavoidable because they obviously like picked the. It's like again, it's like examining a business model and being like that. That's what we need. Yeah. If it worked for them, we take that. We take it to the extreme. We're gonna.
But even musically, I think even before the business thing, I think Paul Stanley thinks that like Simmons and Stanley is like Lennon and McCartney.
Yeah, of course he does.
I think he really thinks that.
Of course he does.
And that is so delusional. It's ridiculous.
Fucking narcissistic.
It's crazy.
It's insane. But that's the kid. That's the Kiss fucking. That's the lens.
Yeah.
That's the lens they live in. You like when they played it when they reunited and they went to the Grammys and Gene Simmons has this view was like when we got to the Grammys and was like everyone move away, Kiss is here. It's like no, probably won't.
Probably not.
Probably not. He just has this assumption that it's like the Beatles, Rolling Stones, Kiss.
That just sounds so weird. Even just hearing that sentence.
Okay, so you switched out with even like a band like Simon & Garfunkel. That kind of makes sense.
Yeah.
More than fucking Kiss does.
Yeah. And this is why I want to find out more about Kiss because even though, from what I heard, it isn't too great. They do hold this space in our brain of like, oh, they're kind of like a big band.
Yeah.
Or like,
did you hear about them before Rock School? I fucking didn't. Before Gene Simmons did that TV show Rock School.
I might have.
I think I'd seen them in like maybe. I don't know if it's The Simpsons or something. Like I'd seen because there are like cartoons. I've seen caricatures of them about. I didn't know anything about them.
I'd not heard of them.
Yeah,
I definitely couldn't put a song to their image.
Yeah. And even after the show, I was like, I remember even watching the TV show and then being that when he was singing like "God Gave Rock and Roll to You" or something like that. I was like, that's a bit. I thought it was gonna be a lot heavier because I was really young when I saw that. I thought they were gonna be a really heavy band, and it was like just this record.
Can we talk about how poorly the track listing on this album is?
Wait, sorry, I just want to point one thing out right quickly. You know, in this song, it's Gene Simmons. Nothing to lose. Yeah, nothing to lose. It's Gene Simmons. And it's pure Chris singing.
Yes.
You could not tell.
No, I can't tell you.
There was many times on this album when you could not tell them apart. You could not tell any of the songs.
I actually take issue with that comment, but not on this track. So I'm going to save it till later.
Okay.
Really?
Yes.
Okay.
Because take you up on it soon.
We've got Firehouse next, and these three songs back to back together.
You can't tell. You cannot tell the difference.
It's such a plodding rhythm as well, and it really.
It's limp. It almost seems like it's just too slow.
So
if that makes sense.
Talking about a woman. So far, this is Paul's second song. They're both about a type of woman.
Yeah.
It's like
we don't know her.
Yeah, like we know. Well, so was she a firehouse or was she a strutter?
Yeah, exactly. It's like I'm probably paraphrasing, but it's like she'll love you.
Yeah.
And she'll adore you. But then she'll fuck you over. You know what I mean? It's like every song is like that. It's like she's basically describing this very nice woman, but it's like, but they'll get you in the end. Those women.
Yeah.
However, after the last track, good to hear Paul back. I found myself thinking.
But that's in between. That's one track.
I know.
In between there.
I'll take it.
The great thing about the Beatles, they could all fucking sing. They could all sing well.
Well, they all use their voices well enough. They understood their vocals well enough.
Yeah.
To make it work. Well, some of the track. Well,
but I mean, this song is a very good example of like how they. I mean, I guess they're trying to be like an AC/DC in a way. They're kind of back to basics rock and roll sort of thing. But without the production, it's just bam, bam, bam. It's so fucking ploddy and limp and weak.
Very boring.
Really weak.
Very boring intro. Actually, you know that we talked about that interview on the Mike Douglas show. They do a version of this, and his vocals are much stronger. for whatever reason, he's being less precious live than he is in the studio about being raspy. And
Yeah.
when Paul goes raspy, it's a really nice thing.
Yeah,
He's
yeah,
hitting
yeah.
the highs
It's
very
crisp,
well. Yeah, it sounds
almost.
great.
It's nice.
I think the lyrics are very weak on this one.
Yeah, I
Very
think this
weak.
might be the weakest. Oh, yeah,
One of the
maybe.
weakest ones.
Yeah,
lyrically.
yeah.
It's
I mean,
just-
even that sentence, "Get the firehouse," is grammatically.
I read
incorrect.
that he based this off.
You just bury your house.
I read
Get
that he
the
based this-
physical building of the firehouse. Drop it on that fucking bitch.
He based it off the is it a song by the Move, Roy Wood's band called
Yeah,
called
yeah, yeah.
Get the
They're big
Fire
fan.
Brigade, which came out in like I don't know 67 or 68 or something.
But that song
Which-
skips
which-
along, doesn't it?
It does, but it shows how far back they're going for inspiration when they're trying to be very forward thinking. You're allowed to take from the past.
Yeah,
but
yeah, yeah.
I'd say that song by the Move is more heavy
I agree. Yeah.
than this song.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's amazing, like you said, like how far they go back to look for inspiration. It's insane.
I don't like the
For
guitar
9/7.
solo as much on this one. I don't know if you guys are focused on it as much. This is the one that goes.
That is a very popular guitar solo of
It's
his.
very squeaky, and I didn't like it as. I didn't mind it as much with the next few listens.
If
but
that tone had been like a Strat and had a more like cutting tone, I think it would have
that
been a
tone had
lot
some-
better. Because then it
a
would
bit more fucking
you know.
crunch like the rest of this album
yeah.
needed. Just more crunch, more distortion. It would have
Yeah.
probably sounded a lot better.
I reckon that was a conscious decision they made, though.
I hope not.
I think so, because I think they were sort of like, well, we got to keep it appealing. We got to keep the appeal. It's just confused. A lot of it's very fucking confused.
That solo needs harmonics. It needs overtones to it, so that we're hearing like these squeaks, making it wail. Play it like Hendrix, but of course he doesn't do
He's
that.
no Hendrix.
Me, I just kept on going back to that.
Ace
That,
Frehley.
that plodding rhythm is just so, just it slows
There's
the
nothing
whole
to hang on to. I don't even
Yeah.
know how most hardcore Kiss fans can listen to that and like lock into it. 'Cause there's nothing really to grab, is
Yeah,
there?
the real hardcore Kiss fans listen to Firehouse and go, oh yeah, man.
Yeah,
That's the shit.
Because it's not as if like even if that song had like a really locked in groove, like even like how some groove metal bands like Black Label Society, for example, do a really simple fucking riff,
Yeah.
but because it's locked in and it's tight, you feel it as punch to it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Maybe it'd be better.
But
But maybe the notes just
bit
aren't
heavier,
there.
though.
Maybe the melody's just not there.
I don't know.
we're still not even at the bottom of the slump because this next song, Cold Gin, is maybe my least favorite song of the song.
Really?
I
Actually,
find
I
that
disagree with that.
interesting.
I disagree with
Maybe.
that.
There's
Because I think
another
lyrically,
contender.
it is
Yes.
fucking refreshing.
I agree with that. It's refreshing lyrically because it's not about taking advantage
Yeah.
of a woman.
Just like being it's just about being a street drinker, isn't it? It's about being like a bum.
Ace Frehley said he wrote it like on train journeys or bus journeys or something.
Yeah,
like
yeah,
that.
yeah. I mean, at least he had the. I mean, I say it's like a Beatles model, as in like they all sing, but he doesn't. He doesn't actually sing on this album.
I think
Gene
overall-
sings all the songs that he wrote, which
Yeah.
I say all the songs, just this one
I
song.
think overall this is one of the strongest we've had yet, I'd say. Disagreements here, so I'm interested in why you think this is...
I think especially
So
in the
weak.
vocals, who's it who sings this one? Is it
Gene
Gene? I
sings.
think there's no enthusiasm.
I agree with that. I'm not going to
into
defend
this.
that.
I'm so tired. It's slurry. I mean, maybe that's like the drunk thing.
Yeah.
In his defense, I think that's being kind of weak. I don't
I
think
read that
that's
Gene
clever
sung this
as that.
because Ace wasn't confident enough.
Yeah, he didn't want to do it. He didn't
Yeah.
have enough confidence in his voice.
Yeah, and I think the lyrics just getting sadder and sadder, where it's just sort of like I don't know what they're going for.
Time
They need to drink to have like
Again, played
good time.
Fucking this riff. I think it's like in the bridge or something, which is the most annoying fucking riff in the world. It's like proper, like it's almost like gloaty in a way. Like it's like
Oh,
that
that the middle A?
Yeah, the middle A.
Yeah,
The middle A
absolutely
is-
terrible.
is,
I mean, that's what, that...
no.
Okay, against what I just said about this song, that is one of the lowest points of the album.
It's amazing. It's almost like they get cocky.
Yeah.
It's like,
And it goes on forever.
It goes on and on and on.
it's like someone with like a really snotty nose.
Just give me another generic pentatonic rock solo of that any day. I do think the intro's a bit better. That sounds a bit proto-AC/DC. I can hear it. Maybe it's just that I'm so dense. I want it to just sound heavier. So anything that just leads in that direction,
Okay.
like
Yeah.
this, like the chorus, I think is a bit heavier than a lot of like say Firehouse, for example.
Yeah.
I like the way
It's got more energy than Firehouse.
Yeah, the dynamics are better because the Golden time again, and then it kicks back in,
Yeah.
and there's muted guitars. I don't want to overly defend this one, but I think
I just think at this point of the album, you just need something to get you going again, and it's still.
yeah, I think to go back to what you said about Gene, I think in a way what I want more is raspy vocals, which Gene sort of is trying to own on this album. He's so Paul's got the
trying to
range,
deal with that.
but
Let's
I'm
deal with that.
yeah, but I'm giving the singing the rasp. But actually, he just can't deliver on it.
No,
When
no.
Paul sings raspy, it's better. We'll get onto this later, but when Peter Criss sings raspy, it is better, I think.
I agree with you.
yeah.
I agree with you. Even in Nothing to Lose, like to backtrack, even that is like
Yeah, it's better than
you know,
Gene.
it's a lot better than Gene's. I mean, there's something as a bit of like. I mean, it goes without saying Peter Criss's drumming on this album in general, but on this track is just fucking pathetic. he hits some like really fucking lows later, but the fucking like, what is it? The fucking keeps us together, and it's literally just fucking bomb, bomb. Like Lars Ulrich could fucking Ulrich, whatever the fuck's his name is, like he could write more interesting drum beat.
I think there's a decent song
he plays
somewhere.
Like a toddler.
There's a decent song somewhere.
What? No, I disagree with that.
think so.
I don't think this is like a diamond. There's like a
No, I
diamond
think
in
we
the
mentioned
rough.
Black Label Society earlier. Imagine them doing a version of this.
I suppose maybe.
I think he'd be able to do that with a shredding guitar solo
Yeah.
instead of that awfulness that he
Yeah.
instead.
I saw that this is like a popular like song to drink to. But
know, it's-
I can't imagine
it?
it.
Depressing.
It's about a
when I
bum, isn't
googled
it? It's about a bum. Like it's about like a.
That-
you know, it's again like I
that
said,
is
street
not
drink,
what
like
I saw
barfly. Basically,
online.
it's like a bar.
It's like saying Aqualung's a good song to drink. Yeah, I think the rhyming in the chorus is very poor.
Yes.
Was it? I can't.
I think
Cold gin time again.
You know it'll always win.
win.
That is the sort of lyrics I used to write when I was about 10. And I thought, because you're just thinking of the rhymes, straight to the rhymes. What rhymes? You're not thinking about the words. That's not a sentence a human would use. You wouldn't say, cold gin time again. It'll always win. Cold gin will always win. No,
Cold gin will always,
it's
yeah.
bad English. It doesn't make sense.
There's the like as well when you look at the verse when it's I'm so tired. Like there's not a lot, if any, music really in there. It's just sort of like this kind of very sparse. It's just based like a bass drum and a snare, and then kind of like him slurring his vocals over the top. It's just lack of energy. It's almost depleting in a way. Like this is kind of like a bit of a bit of haul listening to this album because there's a lot of kind of like trying. It's almost like it's like wading through like mud or like that shallow part of
Not
a swimming.
easy.
That shallow part of a swimming pool.
Yeah.
You know.
So just running
It's
through
just
that.
kind of-
Or walking slowly through it, rather.
Yeah.
Meandering through a shallow part.
That's
of
a
the
lot of
swimming
this album is meandering. That's what I'd say is in terms of like the pace of this record is sort of kind of meandering.
But it's not
casual.
presented to us in that way. It's not presented to us like a
Yeah,
Joy Division
no,
album is. It
exactly.
comes out like, this is Kiss, baby!
Yeah.
And then we get Cold Gin.
The hottest band in the world.
Yeah.
The hottest band in the world. I'm so tired.
And yeah, that's why at this point in the album, this is not the song that you need. It's just
No, you need Pick Me Up.
yeah,
Pick Me Up.
after Firehouse.
Again, the track listing because I've not got notes, so like I don't know how the track listing goes. You'd have to tell me because again, a lot of the songs are the fucking same.
well,
a
I'll
lot
tell you
of them
what,
sound
yeah.
very similar.
I'll tell you what, the track after this is exactly what I need. I
I agree,
think just let me know.
Honestly, one of the strongest tracks. Honestly, one of the strongest tracks on the album, Alex.
I'll agree with that.
And
Yeah.
then you let me know.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, Alex, you
I
can't
like
sing
the
like
barber
Paul.
shot at
You
the
can,
end.
yeah,
No,
that's
it's
sick.
good to have him back. It's good to have him actually fucking
No,
sing
that barbershop
because he's the only one that can sing.
And then it kicks into an outro that's, I think, the highest point of the album so far.
Yeah, okay, I'll give you
kicks
that.
off,
There's some energy.
The best solo yet.
Yeah, I agree with that.
We finally got some rock and roll energy in there. They kick off.
Yeah,
They're
but I
jamming.
think they were just like, we've got to put fucking something.
Yes.
We have to put something because we're struggling here. We've got
Yes.
to throw something.
What they
in
haven't
there.
escaped from in like the verses and stuff is the sort of tameness of this album. It's still
Absolutely.
it's like a Rolling Stones song.
trying to be
this.
shocking.
Yeah. And it's not at all. I think the chorus is good. The way the lyrics. Actually, I shouldn't say lyrics. The way the sound of the words flow into each other with the music, I think it's quite driving. I think it's good. I can't quite sing it because I don't really know the words.
Well,
what do you think?
It
Alex?
may make it sound like hypocrites, but like this actually, I can hear the Beatles influence on it.
I'm not gonna lie. I'm trying to sing this song in my head and I just can't fucking do it. I'm really trying. I've heard this album many times and I just can't. What is it? No, that's fucking Nothing to Lose.
Let me know.
Oh, what? I know that bit, but no. It comes out. It just goes crazy afterwards. It's jokes.
Here, in testament,
And then we'll hit him.
testament to what we were just saying, Paul singing raspy at some points in this one, and it's better
Wait,
than...
just sing it, please.
Gene,
I'm
I
really
can't.
struggling.
I can't sing it.
Wait, no, just the melody. Like, I just need.
Alex?
I'm struggling.
We could take a break here.
Wait, it doesn't matter if maybe it's the. I think you're leaving it. Your memory of this is because it leaves you on quite high because you have that outro, which is like just insane. Well, at least for this album.
No, but I remember thinking when the chorus comes in, that very memorable chorus.
You can't fucking sing. Because at least something like, let me know, you can sing it. Don't let me know, fucking.
It's
This
like,
is the problem, man. This album's like
like that.
yeah.
This
album's like an Escher painting. You don't know like where you start, like where you fucking finish. What is it? How the fuck does it go?
Is it the one where he's going, I should chill you when it thrills you?
No, that is.
What's that?
It's Firehouse.
Is it?
Wait. I don't know.
Was it Strutter? No, sorry. It's definitely not Strutter.
Oh my
sorry.
god. This is the point we're making.
That's the point. It's confusing. It's like being stuck in a Beckett play. Or like a...
Not as good.
Well, anyway, my memory of this song is that everyone comes through really well.
Thank you.
No, I disagree. I think
this one with the keys, right? Like the piano going back.
I mean, this is filler. It's just, I mean, it's all filler from like Strutter, I guess. I mean, if you had to pick like a single, I guess it'd be Strutter.
I prefer this
Oh
to
no,
Strutter as well.
fuck off! No.
You listened to more Kiss than we did when you were young, so you've got an attachment to Strutter, I think.
Possibly.
That me and Alex really don't have.
I don't know. I just think this is.
But also, this is one where we get like the first glimpse of them being a sort of metal band, right? Like,
nah, this is really poppy, isn't it?
Towards the end,
the ending, yeah,
After
but the thing is that you say when they became a metal band, like they never really ever became a metal band. Like there's like Revenge, maybe in like 1999 is like probably the heaviest album they've ever made.
I'm just picturing like this, I don't know, 12-year-old kid going to the record store and seeing this album, and he has an idea.
So disappointed.
I asked for my
absolutely crushed.
early teenage birthday of mine. I asked for a bunch of what I thought were metal CDs.
Yeah.
One of them was the Greatest Hits by Kiss, and yeah, not a metal track on there.
No, he's fucked, man.
There is a line in this one where he says, "Let me in, honey," which with the rapey theme that they're going for, this fits right in.
Why can't they write a song about like, I mean, again, it's the Beatles thing. That the Beatles wrote songs about, women reciprocating the feelings somewhat. Not one song really on this album.
No,
do the women in the songs ever reciprocate what they,
Women are objects.
They are objects.
On this album.
They are. They're scornful and they're spiteful objects on this album. That's what they are.
Women are something to be contended with.
Yeah, exactly.
Kiss's eye.
Women are work. They are absolutely fucking work. All right,
Okay.
Let's
move on. Now.
I think, if I'm right, because again, I don't
Go
have
on.
this written down. I think it's 100,000 years after
No,
this.
you're way off.
Shit the bed.
Three
You're
tracks,
joking.
yeah.
Free track.
Okay, but you remember this song? It's freaking Kissing Time.
Right, this is interesting. They didn't actually write this.
I know.
They didn't write it.
I did not know that.
No. See, but what I was going to say, because like even again talking about the disappointment, because I get the Osmonds are the most Mormon. Wouldn't have wrote a song this like pedestrian and passive and weak and sickly.
I can't think of I've been to church a few times. I've seen some of the lamest people in this city, I think, and I've never seen.
I've seen like.
I don't think I've ever seen anyone who would have the capacity to write this song.
I've seen Jehovah's Witnesses in town that would like. They would burn a house down.
Now, in their
if they heard
defense,
this song.
I heard they didn't want this on the album and they actually didn't really want to record
They
it.
didn't hear a single, which is fair enough because it's filler. Yeah. It's filler. So the whole album pretty much is filler. So they were basically kind of told, okay, you've got to put this song on the record.
I think they should have seen their higher ups, managers, whoever it was who suggested this to them. They should have seen that as a sign. Because they were like, oh, we'll get a cover for them to do. What's the kind of stuff you guys do? Oh, like that old song Kissin' Time. That's like you guys.
Yeah.
I would go, is that what we sound like?
Yeah, innit? Yeah, you'd be quite shocked.
Yeah, and I'd have a real think, and I'd reevaluate.
But there's arrogance on their part.
Yeah.
Probably being they probably again because we don't sound like that. But I think the record executives were probably right.
They were on the ball.
I would be like, okay, you've got to give them something. Like, they kind of sound like this. This is kind of has a bit more commercial appeal. We'll give them this.
You see, it's interesting that you guys say that perhaps they didn't want it on, because I just read that this got added as to be a single, which just amazes me because It's just it sound this production-wise.
Production-wise,
Yeah,
it's the worst one on the
dreadful,
album.
absolutely
And
dreadful.
although I'm not a defender of the production on this album, you can almost tell. I don't know whether it was done separately or whether it was done later or something like that, but it stands out as particularly bad. The production
I
on this
read
one.
that it was done later.
Right,
Is
well
this
that
the
makes
one-
complete sense.
Is
to
this
me.
the one again? It's so fucking easy to get these albums, these songs modeled up. But is this the one with Peter Criss is like really just going way over his capabilities and he's just so out of his depth?
Yeah, it is. In fairness to him, there's a couple of nice little bits.
This doesn't work. Like, it really doesn't fit. You don't know where it doesn't really lock in very well to the guitar and the bass like at all.
Yeah. It's so
There's not
lame.
really- The thing
It's
is
the
that there's not really
lamest
much you can
song.
say about it. It's not a very good song. It's a
terrible
very
song.
bad song. You
Anytime
can't go
is
any more in
kissing
depth.
time, USA. It's fucking pathetic.
I don't think Elvis, again, his most commercially
Yeah.
acceptable, would have wrote a song like this, or had a song written for him like this.
I'm not gonna lie. I think part of me wanted to give this song a pass though, because just like, oh, this is, it's a nice song, like sort of like free love around the country and so on.
Right.
But again, now I know that they didn't write the lyrics. I was looking at lyrics and I'm going, man, this isn't right, because they turned it from like, oh, let everybody just love each other, to then
Yeah.
no, I want to kiss you with some of the lyrics. So,
Yeah.
yeah. So treat me right, don't make me fight.
See, these are the
Oh,
rhymes.
yeah,
It's
yeah,
this
yeah.
rhyming that I'm talking about. That's not the way humans talk.
Yeah, it's not.
Treat
It's
me
not
right,
like-
don't make me
Don't
fight.
make me fight.
Yeah.
Again, I mean, when I first listened to it, I did think they'd written it because of the lyrics like that.
Yeah.
Because I assumed like, oh, that's a rapey lyric, or they probably wrote it.
It's
and
as
then
if
they
what I
didn't.
thought about this song, and again, we can't diss Kiss for the writing, but it's as if someone wrote your sort of average, raunchy rock song, whatever we want to call it, and then it had to go through like a conservative pastor
Yeah.
who kind of fixed
I made
it.
a couple of amendments
Yeah.
here, taking out some of the cursing, and
It's not good, man. What's weird is the guitars actually sound a bit crunchier on this one, but it's a waste
Yeah.
putting that on this
it
track.
really is, yeah.
And I will at this point bring up I think it's the last verse Peter Criss sings, and it's the best part of the song, I
Mm.
think. And I know you were dissing his drumming earlier, and I'm not going to defend him.
His
there,
drumming was
but
very
I think
poor.
his vocals on this track are fine.
But
They're
for
good.
a drummer who's basically, I guess you'd call him a kind of a back to basics groover, like a Ringo Starr, I suppose. Even though he comes from like a big band background, which does not come through on the record like at all. He does not sound like a jazz drummer at all. I'm not even close. Like, but for someone who's doing that, would someone not tell him like it's a bit busy? You're drumming
Maybe,
on
I
you're
think-
drumming on this
I
very
think that's
you're
to do
drumming
with-
on this very very simple, like very kind of sickly rock and roll song.
I think that's to
It's
do with
far too fucking busy.
the
like-
marketing. It's to do with the Beatles mania that they want, because they want each person to shine out in this record.
Yeah.
So Paul's got his vocals. Gene, say what you want about them. His bass lines come through in the mix. They're noticeable, for
Yeah,
better or
true.
worse. They're noticeable.
Yeah.
And Ace Frehley gets solos. Peter,
Yeah.
he gets to sing every now and then. So I think he wanted to push through some actual drumming parts.
Yeah.
And we're still, I don't want to say we're in early rock, but
no,
long term,
man.
long term we are.
Yeah.
So I
Heavy
think that-
metal has been invented at
Yes,
this
that's
stage,
true.
so
But I think
you're deep
in the way that now, it's considered very dated and kind of lame to put a drum solo on anything, or to even kind of push drums to the front a lot of the time these days, unless it's like tech metal or something.
I suppose, yeah.
And I think Peter just wanted he wanted
Bless
his time
him.
to shine.
He did want his time to shine. Bless him.
Let's move on.
He's a terrible. So again, I want to guess which this next.
Go on, guess.
What this track is. Fuck me. What? No, you have to tell me. I really have no idea. Cannot.
It's very
I
famous.
can't even name another song off this
This
album.
was on the
so I'm
greatest
really
hits.
struggling.
This one.
Fuck
Was this
off.
on the greatest
it's
hits?
Yeah.
Deuce.
This is that. Is this that opener? So, like,
It
famous
tends
opener.
to be
Yeah.
they have a nice kind of like in the main riff thing they have
Alex
this.
is pulling a face.
I don't remember this opener. What?
No,
No,
but
no,
it's in
I
their
mean-
live shows.
Oh,
when,
okay.
when they play live,
They do
tend
like
to
they
open
do
with
like an
Deuce.
in sync like little gay little dance thing where they got their guitars and they're like
Yeah.
throwing them up and down. It's
Um,
anywho.
Now, this one, before we get onto what has to be addressed in this song, I think musically it's all right. I think the riffs in the chorus are
that's
pretty
the
good.
thing, right? The
Yeah.
riff is quite
It's
good.
pretty
It's
good.
quite powerful.
I like-
Whose fucking idea was the fucking production? The way the guitar goes, brimp, brimp. Why is that necessary? You've got quite a powerful, you've got quite a powerful riff.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like, that's got some like.
It's just one of the heavier songs on the
It's
album,
a heavier
yeah.
album. Like, why?
But even before we got onto production, Alexei, the lyrics of this song. And I don't think
your man is working hard.
Yeah.
He's worth a fuck, basically.
Okay.
I don't think I'm a crazy left-wing guy, but it's fucking sexist.
Yeah, it
this
is
song.
very
It's
sexist.
dated.
It's awful.
You cannot write songs like this anymore.
You know your man's been working hard. He's worth
No, okay, right. I saw an interview with Gene Simmons, and he says he does not know what this song is really about.
He's so fucking facetious. He's a liar.
Bullshit.
Because it's
Bullshit.
2018.
Yeah, and he knows he'll get his head bit off if he talks about what it's
women's
really about.
liberation came through and then fucked everything.
But what's all they write about this stuff, but it's not even sexy or cool or anything.
Horrible. It's
horrible.
It's
so sad.
You know what it is?
Bitter.
It's a wife beater song.
Yeah.
It's a wife beater song. You know your man's been working hard. I'm worth a fuck. I'm worth anal.
Again, just like Nothing to Lose, the song would be better if it was I'm worth a fuck. I'm worth a fuck.
That would still get played today if
It
that's what
would,
it was.
yeah.
Yeah, that's fucked. It's just.
I'm still not convinced on Gene's vocals on this bit.
No.
No.
Probably, what's sad is they're probably his strongest vocals on the album, and they're not
Yeah.
good.
Yeah, I think you're right. Actually,
Yeah, they're certainly not good.
One.
Again,
But I'm sorry about that. The fucking script. I don't even know what it is. It's like the belly. Brimp, brimp. It's what is that? Because it's got like, and it's like, why are you doing that? Why are you backpedaling? Like,
yeah.
It's nothing to latch onto. It's almost kind of like, oh no, we can't. It's almost like they're scared almost to like to just push it that one step further.
But they're okay, talking about women like these sex objects. Yeah.
We'll let the lyrics carry the song.
I could talk a bit more about the guitars in this one, but I want to be so
I'm
distracted by the words and the performance of the words.
Yeah.
I don't think it's even worth.
The guitar solos again.
It's got good outro.
It's good.
I remember being decent.
It fits with the riff. I mean, you can tell there's a bit where you can imagine them if they're locked in, like playing that main riff, like in a live studio. Fucking kill, and you've seen and they see clips of them. Like
this is one of the songs where I do get them as a stadium band, a stadium rock group.
You can see it. I mean, I'm not gonna lie, I love this album would be better if you had like a crowd noise. I mean, no wonder like a live did so well because it's
That's
that
what
live
broken
album.
through,
It's
wasn't
broken
it?
through.
That's like the year after, I think. They had a live album.
It was a couple of years after, I think. They did like every album. They did an album a year for a while. I think this one is to cash in.
Certainly don't do that anymore. Next song. Unless you've got more to say, Alex. Okay. Now, this is the worst song on the album, in my opinion.
Kiss is our love theme from Kiss.
See, I disagree.
Okay, go on, Alex. I'll let you go.
I think this is one of Paul Stanley's best performances.
Wait, no, it doesn't.
You got the right song.
Wait, it's the instrumental.
Oh, I skipped it because there's nothing to say about it.
I agree with you on the next track.
Okay.
Yeah.
Love theme from Kiss
Is
a
fucking dreadful.
wet.
It's not
They were
sexy. It's fucking
were
wet. It plods.
desperate for
It absolutely
material.
plods. It
That's
was.
all this
We got to
proves.
do something. Again, it just.
They are, none of them are proficient enough technically or even soulfully as musicians to pull off an instrumental.
No. What's it supposed to be? Genrely.
Love theme from
Genrely, it's quite hard to place.
It
It's not
sounds
rock,
like,
it's not
Alexei,
metal,
it
it's not
sounds
jazz,
like
it's not smooth.
The Shadows. It's
It
so
does.
lame.
Yeah.
Shit.
No, it makes the Shadows look like fucking suicidal tendencies.
This was the
depressing.
moment when I heard this album where I really was going, this was considered shock rock, and I just don't believe it. It's marketing is key.
Yeah.
We were sold a shock rock band, so that's what people believe.
See, I'm surprised
There's
like
nothing shock rock
a
about
rival shock rock artist like Alice Cooper didn't call them out back in the day because you'd assume he would at some point, being like, well, how can you pretend to be this kind of like, again, this the evil, demonic? Like there were people like burning their albums, you know what I mean, like pastors and stuff, and churches burning their albums, and you do so a love theme from Kiss.
The title alone, it's called Love Theme from Kiss.
It's like let us do the playing, you guys. You guys.
Apparently,
It's the cuckold.
No one would have sex this fucking song.
apparently it was a cut from a way longer version as well.
Really?
Yeah.
Fuck off. But you can't take that riff anywhere. That's fucking bullshit.
It sounds like an opening for a 70s talk show. I think. Now,
I didn't even think like that. I think it's the opening for like a Christian Network song. Where like they're selling off DVDs and shit.
Yeah. Okay.
Right, fuck
Moving
that.
on.
I'm not sure if it's the
No, no.
weakest part because actually it doesn't have lyrics. So they skipped on the lyrics,
Very
which
good
is this,
point,
which is they
you
don't
might
have
have just
lyrics.
convinced me, actually.
Alright, which is I'd say like Deuce has got like lyrically.
This is more
fuck
upsetting
me,
than this song,
upsetting,
yeah. Okay. Now, back to some proper vocals.
Okay, yeah.
Right, can I just say this, right? I think this is a fucking how this fucking badass song.
This is one of the best songs of the album.
I think maybe it's just in comparison to what's happened before, but this is what they should be.
I think that's
they
good.
fucking slayed it.
It's
Again, the production
fast-paced.
lets it down.
Sure.
It could do with a bit more power and a bit more presence, but when it locks, dun, 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 you know what I mean?
And the way he just enters this song vocally.
And the lyrics, I don't mind, because the lyrics, again, serve the song perfectly well.
Have you looked up what it's about?
I have no idea what it's about.
I saw something, but I'm not so sure that it's... Do you want me to get
No,
read what
please.
I wrote?
Yeah.
Well, if you could get the direct quotes up, because I read a bit about it, and if that's true, then it's one of the best songs lyrically on the album.
What I've got is a warped song about an intergalactic space traveler to analyze it.
No, he's right. He's right. Sorry, I completely forgot. It is.
It's about space travel and the amount of time one spends going from one galaxy or planet to another and then returns 100,000 years later.
That's what they should be writing about.
I agree. I agree.
That's what the Star Child should be singing about.
Yeah. And do you know what? I'm sorry. I'm sorry that I've taken so. Sorry that I've taken so long. It must have been a bitch while I was gone. Like
that's good lyrics.
That's swagger.
Yeah.
Man. I mean, that's the main point. It's like, but the vocals is what gives it that swagger. And he comes out, it must have been a bitch while I was getting. You know what I mean? It's like
it drives. It's a driving song. It moves along. It's fast paced. I can see why this would come before Iron Maiden. This is one of the few songs I'm like, oh, it makes sense. I can hear why this is considered
Have you seen
metal.
any live versions of this?
No.
Kills. Absolutely
I'd like
kills.
To hear that,
His vocals.
He's got a fantastic range. I can't sing the first note of that song, probably.
Yeah. I mean, there's a bit where it's like, I mean, obviously they have to like, I mean, obviously they kind of change to a lower gear with like, there's a middle A. It's like, sorry, would you let me down, but the verses, man, that is the band they should be.
I really think that this should have opened up the album. Not because of how good a song it is, but also I think it works. When I first heard it, I thought it was them sort of introducing Kiss as a band, being like, "Sorry, we've been away for so long. Like here we are, we're ready to rock."
That's a really good point. It's like, sorry, we've been so long, but we're here, we're ready. You know what I mean? I agree with you.
You know what it made me think? It made me think Paul needed more on this album. They spread themselves too thin by trying to do the Beatles thing, giving everyone a bit.
Every member on this song definitely shines through very, very well. Even Peter Chris's drumming, I think, just drives that song.
Playing.
Yeah, even that bass line at the beginning, which is like two notes, but it's still, you feel, I think
Ace
feel
is
there's a
proper
build.
lead guitarist to this. Actually, I'm not huge on the solo. There's some there's some generic harmonies that are quite nice.
Yeah.
But throughout the song, like in the verse, he does some nice lead guitar stuff. Paul's doing what he does best on the guitar.
It lifts you, I think. I think the song, like,
it does. Now, I think it was you, Alex, said it's probably to do with the context of the album. What did you say that, Alex?
What was the
how
best
good this
lyrics?
song is?
Oh, in context of the album, the song not only, I think, I suppose has the best lyrics because it's not about, again, it's like 100,000 years. It's just not about basically kind of ogling a woman. But then again, like, the only woman they can write about with any sympathy is a fucking prostitute. Like, there's something to be said about that. Like,
that's telling.
Yeah.
Okay.
But other than that, I think Black Diamond's it's probably the best. I mean, I think 100,000 Years is the best song on the album, but I think it's probably a close second in my opinion.
I think so.
I think Black Diamond is the best song on the album. And this was another one that was on the greatest hits. I said earlier that there was none that were metal. I think this is the only one that was. I think it's almost like this album is just, for me at least, begging for them to be metal, and they finally got there on the last track.
It's got energy, and what they need is energy.
You know what? I think it's a very good song, Black Diamond.
I don't think it's very good.
I think it's a very good song.
I don't think it's very good. I think it's for them. I think, again, maybe it's just trapped in this album.
Yeah.
You can, like, I mean, in comparison to the rest of the album, it's a fucking masterpiece.
It's cool. Like, you don't grade the kids in foundation class the same as you grade the kids.
All right. Okay. Yeah. All right. Well, then it's like an A. Yeah. Then it's like an A. You know. I mean,
I love the acoustic guitar in the intro. It's like a 12-string. I think the riff is really good. It's metal. I think, and this is what I mean about Peter Criss being a genuinely good vocalist. I think he comes across really well. And there's a live version on YouTube.
It's black and white. Is it black and white? Because there is one live version of this where, again, they just kill.
They are
absolutely kill.
Point. And Peter Criss is doing the vocals while drumming. And he's killing it. He's doing better than on the album. He's just ripping his voice to shreds.
He's a much better singer than Gene Simmons.
Much better than Gene Simmons.
Yeah.
He can sing really quite well, I think.
You know, and the outro, I mean, again, Ace Frehley does a very good solo, I think.
Yeah,
I'd
it's
say
one of
his
the
solo on the
strongest
album
songs
is
on the album.
very, very good.
It's
It's very
so refreshing.
soulful.
Yeah.
I think it's a very soulful, which is something you don't really get out of his guitar playing. It's a very soulful guitar solo. And, I mean, their attempt at psychedelics is the most bland attempt at psychedelics that I can imagine. But, I mean, it's fine. I mean,
Yeah.
it's the end of the album, and it's, you know...
The context
They
of
want
the
to
album
leave on
is
some
great.
kind of a bang. But again, it's very weak psychedelics. It's like one chord.
I think the last, 30 seconds of the album
just
are
so
disappointing.
Yeah.
I don't like. But, I mean, on this album, I'll take it.
But it's not about the musicianship at the end of the day.
It's not musician. It's just it's boring. It's
Yeah.
they just go down.
That's it.
I think it's fine to end an album. I don't know.
Maybe not this track though.
I don't know.
Yeah, okay, maybe not this track.
It's very short though. Again,
Very
that's
short
something that
track,
actually,
yeah.
I mean, a lot of the I guess a plus you can say about a lot of these songs is that they don't really outstay the welcome. Like they're kind of nice and snappy and short, right? But this one, I guess, I think actually could be done with being longer because the bulk of the song after the guitar solo is just.
I think I think the famous riff that that is to me very metal and I like that. That's the best part of the song in my
They
opinion.
tune down a step. Did you know that?
They're playing a drop
Like
beat.
every song drop.
Oh no, are they tuned the whole guitars down?
I do not know.
Okay.
I couldn't tell you.
I think Paul's killing it on the backing vocals. He's got, I assume all of them are Paul layered on top of each other. Maybe
no,
not.
I think I can hear Gene Simmons in there somewhere.
Okay, maybe.
Possibly. I could be incorrect.
Also, the lyrics are refreshing. It's one of the other few songs that isn't about taking advantage of a woman.
Again, it's just, I mean, the only woman again they can sympathize with is a prostitute. I think it's a bit odd.
It is. I'll take that though.
Yeah, I'll take that,
over
absolutely.
Jews.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, though, writing about prostitutes never edgy. I mean, it's not edgy. Let's face it. I mean, the police write about prostitutes. You know what I mean? It's
Yeah,
not
well,
like, I don't think it's an edgy
Kiss did
thing.
it before the police did. Man.
They did.
Probably.
Yeah, maybe.
Sure,
I
yeah,
don't
Police
know.
were
No,
like
the police like 70s band though.
But,
Early
but
Police.
either way, there's a spark with this song, which a lot of the earlier songs this album just don't have.
Yeah.
And maybe that comes from the lyrical content
Yeah,
that they're thinking a bit
It's
differently.
well known that it's about Peter Chris's background, the place that he came from.
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
insane. He like
Yeah, he is insane.
he's insane. He was,
But,
like,
I
he was
mean,
in
if-
gang
if-
and stuff.
If you
So
make
is
music as
Ace
good as
Frehley.
this, maybe they all needed to be a bit more insane. We could
That's
have more
true.
of this.
Well,
And that's why I think it ends on a high note. Actually, for an album as bad as it is,
starts fine, ends well, but the
I think that's a
middle,
very-
fuck me.
Yeah, but
there are places
bad
where it's
places
very,
throughout.
very bad.
I don't know what they were going for. This
I don't know
album.
what when they wrote something like 100,000 years. I don't get why they didn't write that song and be like, all right, we're going to up our game because we can do better.
Yeah,
I do not understand what they're like. This is like we've been taking this in completely the wrong direction.
Yeah, just
you know.
some direction. Like, I don't think I'd mind either way, but it's just, we got things like Love Theme and Kissing Time and 100,000 Years. Like, where they just, those songs come like back to back to it.
You were talking about the track listing. The track listing's kind of again. I mean, to me, I don't know. I mean, the thing about track listing to me is that you're supposed to play people. You know, you're supposed to bring them up at some parts, bring them down, and stuff like that. It's kind of just it brings you up and then levels you. It just levels you for like 30 minutes.
I came to this album expecting it to sound a lot more AC/DC than it did T-Rex.
Exactly.
It sounded
Yeah.
a lot more T-Rex.
But I mean, the problem with that though is that they're self-professed like we're real rockers, we're a real rock band, we're the hard living rock band, and it's like, and then again you get T-Rex, you get the Shadows, you get the Move.
It's not fair to analyze a band by comparing them to their contemporaries, but I'm just gonna say, like 1974, we've had lyrics that Bowie has given us, we've had heavy guitars that Deep Purple have given us. And those are just two examples. They already exist.
Yeah.
So I won't believe that anything was lyrically shocking about this album, and I won't believe that anything was tonally shocking about this album.
Yeah.
So it is. We're going to go right back to where we started. It's the makeup.
Yeah, it is.
It's the image. It's marketing. It's they're like a little kids band. I think that's why me and you, Alexei, especially, sort of gravitated towards them a bit. I really loved Alice Cooper growing up. And to me, it was like another Alice Cooper. It's like, oh, that's cool. They wear makeup.
Yeah.
They've got a real good image. Well, real good. They've got an image.
They've got an image.
Yes.
And for pubescent males, seeing people wearing the big spiky armor and stuff, and having a demonic persona. And we haven't even mentioned, the spitting blood, the breathing fire. This
Of course,
stuff.
yeah.
That very post Alice Cooper, but that is what I think to a lot of people originally gets them into Kiss.
Absolutely.
I said that as if people are getting into Kiss these days.
Well, it's not. I mean, no.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong. They are acquiring no new fans at all. But I mean, bar that. I mean, it's kind of like it all goes without saying that. I mean, I think that's a well-known fact that Kiss is the makeup. There's not really much beyond the makeup. I mean, the problem is they haven't got the fucking humility to agree to clarify that.
Yeah.
To say that, we are pretty much. I mean, they have it. I mean, a lot of the explanations are pretty convoluted. A lot of the times it's like, oh no, we're not musicians first, we're entertainers. But then at the same time, they're like, if it weren't for the songs, then we wouldn't be where we were.
Yeah. It's interesting you brought up humility because, if they were just not a bit more humble, but a fair bit more humble, I think I would really approach this album differently.
Yeah.
Because the way I approach it now is I've heard them talk about what Kiss have done for the world of rock.
Yeah.
And I go back and listen to it, and I think this is a decade where, if you look at the start and then the end, music evolved so much. And they are standing still, Kiss.
Like cemented to the ground.
Yeah.
Go on. Sorry.
I will say that, like, I wanted to find out what made them big at the time and stuff. And like saying the fact that they describe themselves as entertainers does click with me, because I looked at what was big that year, and I looked at some live performances, and I think they get it live. I
agree with
even
that.
in performing
performing
some of these songs in 1974, they were doing, it was really basic stuff compared to nowadays, but they're just sort of like they're looking at the right cameras.
They're performing.
They are performing. They're playing to the crowd a bit.
They're four young, healthy men doing a good performance.
Name a Kiss hit. There aren't many. There really aren't many hits. They don't really have hits. So to argue that it's like through the music alone that's been propelling them, it just can't be, because there's not many people. The mass populace, if you ask someone on the street to name a Kiss song, probably couldn't do it.
No. I know neither of my parents can name a Kiss song. They're from that
and they
era.
lived through it.
Yeah. Can I just read a Paul Stanley quote?
Yeah.
This was.
Please.
This may be paraphrased, because I found this in an article. It says, most of those other bands, their music became the soundtrack to a fashion show. We weren't about that. We were about rock and roll.
That's bollocks.
And this is the delusion that I'm talking about.
It's completely delusional. It's like they didn't hit any other new bands from that decade.
Have they not looked in the... It's Kiss.
It's Kiss, yeah.
And they're saying other bands were fashion shows.
Yeah, it's just nonsense.
Kiss.
Absolute nonsense. Some of the songs on that album are limp as hell.
So going back to what you just said, Alex, maybe that's really the tragedy of this album, is that they didn't capture what was so great about
what
them
they could
live.
do live, yeah. They now have admitted, looking back, that these early albums, I mean, this going on to like Dress to Kill, which is like the third album, it sound like shit, because they do sound like shit. Do you know what I mean? They'll admit that. It was only really a Destroyer when they got like a proper producer, and Bob Ezrin, I think, produced the album, that they actually started to sound like or replicate what they did live. I mean, it was Alive that did it. It was the live album that did it for them. So
that's it.
Do you have a favorite track? What did you say on this album?
Black Diamond.
Black Diamond. What about you?
100,000 Years.
I agree. I think 100,000 Years is probably my favorite track.
Worst track?
You know what?
You've changed my mind during this. I was going to say Love Theme from Kiss.
Oh, juice. Love Theme from Kiss is like 30 seconds
I'm
long.
Gonna move
There's
that
nothing in it.
It's not, though. It's like...
Is it? No, it's not. It can't be that long.
I'm going to say... Nothing to Lose instead. I've changed my mind. It's Nothing to Lose is my least favourite track on the album.
I think I'm going to go Kiss in Time. That's a real
I don't
sad
know. They
song.
didn't write that, and they didn't really want it on the album, so I kind of don't really
But it's
count
still
it.
there.
It still exists.
Yeah.
It's still
That makes
on
it
the
worse
album.
for me, is the fact that, that had to be added to the album, and there was a decision made somewhere.
I'd say, for me, it's probably... if a Juice has got a there is a good song in Juice somewhere. Just change the lyrics.
There's a good instrumental.
And just change the instrumental, yeah. Who do you think shines through probably the best on the time? I'd have to say Ace Frehley is by far the most consistent.
Yeah.
Only because Paul's
not
barely
on it
there.
enough,
I mean, he's there some other time.
I agree with that. Ace Frehley's got some incredibly middle-of-the-road solos on this, but he's also got some pretty good ones.
Paul,
And, go on, Alex.
yeah, no, I think Paul Stanley shines.
When he's there.
Yeah, when
Ace
he's
Frehley
there.
is on like every song. He plays a guitar song like every song. Whereas I'd say that like...
I suppose, but to Alex, I get Alex's point, because almost whenever Paul shows up, it's like,
Oh, thank God, yeah.
thank goodness he's back. And here we are stuck in Paul Stanley's dick. That's how bad this album
right,
is.
mate, yeah. His lyrics are equally as terrible
Yes.
as Paul as Gene's, yeah. I mean, bar like 100,000 Years and maybe Black Diamond. But no, I'd say the weakest deserve. I don't know. I mean, for me, it's got to be Peter Criss. I think Peter Criss is so terrible.
Gene is the weakest on this album. I think that's going to be a theme.
Yeah, but you look for the drummer to at least give it some level of some drive, and it's just not there.
But Peter Criss can sing and Gene can't.
All right, yeah, I'll give you that as a singer. I'm talking purely on their instrument.
Okay.
Gene Simmons is a bass player. He does the what is necessary.
Yeah.
As a singer and a lyricist, he's god awful. I agree with you.
So what's the next album?
The next album, Harvin Hell. Right, this album in history didn't do very well. It didn't sell very well. There wasn't really a single.
We should save
to
this.
propel it. So yeah, they're moving on.
Yeah.
Forward.
So that's the first album of Kiss. But man, we're gonna be so rich.
We're gonna be fucking millionaires, man.
Just wait till you
cannot wait.
Just chatting about stuff.
Yeah. Just
waiting for the
just
money
wait.
to roll in.
All
You know what I mean?
Okay.
Pass,
guys.
pass me a bit of that cold gin.
Yeah. Go to. Ooh.
Don't mind if I do.